Okay, so what exactly makes a female gaze physique? If you understand this, you will get like way more attraction from girls than right now if you just go to the gym, do these exercises and try to build as much muscle as possible. As you can see in this picture, we have two guys and one of them looks more attractive towards girls, towards females because of his shape of the body. You could guess who it is. It's the guy on the right because of his silhouette. He has more of a V-shaped silhouette as the guy on the left. Oh, the white guy has less muscle. He still looks more attractive because the harmony of his muscles or the harmony of his whole body is better than the harmony of the left guy who looks very bulked up and very strong, but not in an attractive way. He just looks intimidating. Yeah, you would guess that he's strong, but he doesn't look as aesthetic as the guy on the right. How can we get an attractive shape of your body? Like the biggest factor is your shoulder to waist ratio, or like your shoulder to hips ratio. And as you can see, the one on the right has a much better shoulder to waist ratio as the guy on the left. So the width of your waist should be about 1.6 times or more than the width of your shoulders. The shoulder to hip ratio, like the ideal shoulder to hip ratio is 1 to 1.3 to 1.5. However, I would argue that you can have an up to 1 to 2 shoulder to waist ratio. These two are like the minimum you want to achieve if you want to maximize the attractiveness of your body. As you can see in this picture, David Lace has a great shoulder to waist ratio and great shoulder to hip ratio. It's actually 1 to 2, and like that's extremely high. And I would say that's the maximum you should go for. If the ratio would be even higher, I think at some point it wouldn't look aesthetic anymore. But as you can tell, like having like a extreme shoulder to waist ratio is still attractive. So how can you achieve that? Well, you can train your shoulders. If you train your side delts, yeah, your shoulders will obviously be wider, and therefore you will throughout having better clavicles. Like clavicles are these bones, and by training your side delts, you will throughout having them wider, which like throughout better bone structure. Therefore, it throughout better genetics. That's attractive to women. That's what attracts women, having good genetics. That's what you throughout by training your shoulders. So you can just do like these random science-based exercises where you like do lateral raises with the cable, and in the stretch, like you have a 90 degrees tension in the stretch, so you just pull it up like this. But you could just do any exercise. It really is not that deep. You can just use any machine in the gym. Yeah, so I would recommend doing one exercise that specifically targets the side delts, and any exercise, like any shoulder press, as long as your form is good and you do progressive overload. Really, it's not that deep. You have to see what works best for you. But what helps you very well is doing it every session, training your delts. Every training session will increase like the speed of your progress. Especially like your side delts. I personally train them every session because they recover very fast, and that's compared to like other muscles. Yeah, like I never get sore by training my delts, and it works so much better if you train them every session. If you have pretty bad delts, you could also like do them at the beginning of the session, so you prioritize them even more. So the next muscle is the lat. As you can see in this picture, the lat is like very important for that V shape. It doesn't affect the shoulder to waist ratio, but it's very important for having like this V silhouette. And yeah, it's like one of the most aesthetic muscles, and should prioritize that one too. Also, the upper chest doesn't affect shoulder to waist ratio either, but it gives you like more of an illusion of a V shape. So that's one of the most aesthetic muscles with the lat and the biceps and the abs. Like these muscle groups, yeah, and the side delts of course, but these muscle groups are most female gaze. And if you ask any girl, like, yeah, can you show your muscles? They obviously don't say show your upper chest or your back, or maybe they say show your back, but they always want to see your biceps or your abs. Okay, so your side delts, they don't know that shit, that like this, the shoulder to waist ratio is a thing. They just take it subconsciously, and so they don't say, yeah, show me your shoulder to waist ratio. They just take it subconsciously, and yeah, it still attracts them. But I would say like these these muscles, the biceps and the abs, are the most looked after in the from females. So train them. Obviously, you have to get very lean to show your abs, but never skip them. So no, regarding your legs, oh, that's actually not what you have heard before, but your legs, you actually don't want to overtrain them, because as you can see in this picture, the guy on the right has overtrained quads, and therefore his frame looks more like an X-frame. Like this. As the frame of the one on the left looks more like a V-frame, it still looks like a X-frame because he has overtrained legs. But the legs of the one of the right are even more extreme, and therefore like the overall shape of this guy looks less attractive. So like I would recommend to train your legs just to an extent where they don't extend like the width of your hips, so it looks more like this. In David Late's physique, you can see that he doesn't has overtrained quads. He goes more like this and then this. If he would go more like this and this, he would look more male gazed, but that keeps him very female gaze. Like the golden era bodybuilders, as you can see in this one, like they knew what they did. They didn't train their legs on purpose. You can see it like this. Like modern bodybuilders look like more like oh, that was a very bad line. They look more like these. Yeah, I have a picture right here. Damn, damn. They have more of an X frame, and Arnold also has somewhat of a free frame, and he didn't train his legs on purpose because he knew that training your legs will give you more of an X frame, which isn't that aesthetic. Just still train your legs if you have skinny legs, but chill out on them. They are not that important. You can just always wear trousers, and I would say that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.